the completion of an event. But the celebration this week has been tempered somewhat by the story beneath the main story. Oh, sure, people have been talking about the Eagles-Raiders matchup, but they've been talking just as much about the matchup of one Al Davis against Pete Rozelle. It is Al Davis who's made this a long season for Pete Rozelle and vice versa, and the depression, well, it's showing on both men. Pete, since Super 7, I've been coming to these and listening to you give your State of the League message to the press. I got to tell you, I have never heard you as down as you were this time.
I think it was partly fatigue. I will say, however, that I don't think I was as down as I perhaps sounded to you. But it is a depressant when you have the play on the field and the excitement of the fans at a level that I haven't seen since I took this job in 1960. And then you get things apart from what's happening on the field in certain ways, intruding, perhaps even dominating the proceedings.
Has all the litigation, all that's gone on with Al Davis, has it spoiled what should be the final celebration of the season?
It isn't as much fun for me as it usually is at a Super Bowl, where you get up, you really get excited. You see so many people paying attention to this event that you're a part of. All of us in the NFL are. And it isn't as much fun.
Do you like Al Davis?
I guess the best way to answer that is that I always considered Al kind of a charming rogue. Frankly, I enjoyed being in his company. I'd say charming rogue. This is a much more serious thing, where someone comes into a league, becomes one of 28, which the Raiders did first in 1960 in the old AFL, and in 1970 into the merged NFL. And they come in saying, all right, I come in and I'm going to bind myself to abide by the Constitution and the rules of my admission to the game. And then they say, a year ago, this rule I don't like. I think it's illegal. The fact that 21 of the 28 must approve when a franchise moves from one city to another. And that is, to me, more outlaw than charming rogue.
How much thought have you given to what you'll do if Oakland wins?
I feel that this Oakland team has done a tremendous job. Al has played his role in putting these parts together, and he's done a tremendous job in doing it. Tom Flores has done a great job in coaching. And that team, where they go on defense and Ray Guy for much of the year, Plunkett's courageous scrambling for key first downs to help win some close games, then the further development of their offense as the season went along, I have nothing but great respect for what they've achieved. So as far as I'm concerned, if the Raiders win it and I present that trophy to Al, I will have no problem, because I'll be presenting it on the basis that I just gave you.
The Al Davis that Pete Rozelle has been at odds with throughout the season has been called many things: outlaw, charming, rogue, football genius, and indeed he is in part all of those in the minds of some people. But he's a man who has always shrouded himself in mystery, a man who has always enjoyed the psychological edge. We tried to get Al Davis to come on and talk about his feelings about Pete Rozelle. He chose not to. We tried to get Al Davis to come on live. He chose not to. And so our Pete Axtell got a chance to talk to Al this week and has some thoughts about the man.
I think this is part of life and part of professional football. I love professional football, always will.
Yes, the guy does love football. He'll sit around and talk about it for hours, like a kid with the biggest toy in the world. Yet now he's committing acts that some people say will bring anarchy to the National Football League. Similarly, Al Davis takes pride in being devious and sharp and cold-hearted in his dealings in the league. At the same time, last year when his wife Caroli suffered a stroke, she was in a coma 15 days, and he sat by that bedside, constantly talking to her, until finally, almost miraculously, she came out of it. So who is he? Is he a genius or a con man? Is he, in Pete Rozelle's phrase, a charming rogue who has become an outlaw? Well, Al isn't here to give us the answers. I've debated with him most of this week about whether he's going to come on camera to talk about this feud. He finally said no. His reasons: he wants to wait for his day in court. He'll let Pete Rozelle have the forum this week, and he'll wait for the court fight next week. And he says he doesn't want to distract from the game. But when I asked him, should I say that you wouldn't come on advice of your lawyers, his answer was kind of typical. Hell no, he said. I make the decisions around here. To boil it down, the issue is Al wants to move the Raiders to Los Angeles. The league says you got to take a vote before you can do that. The NFL position also has a kind of old-fashioned morality that appeals to many fans. The NFL is proud to be one league that does not abandon areas that give it strong fan support. Al, on the other hand, says that other owners have been allowed to move and other owners have been allowed to flirt with Los Angeles. He He says that one set of rules is applied to the league, another set to Davis and the Raiders. The courts may resolve that debate, but they won't be able to wipe out the angrier charge.